All right, one thing I want to know more about from Vernon is the timeline as you're approaching Berlin. When did you hear about the end of the war, and when did you start to see Russian troops? What was that like?
This is 72 years ago.
Just
Yeah,
to the best of your close enough.
What time of day it was? Well, the news we would hear, we knew that and from our actual experience, we knew that there was no defenses left in Germany. All the German army men saw was like this. So, but I do remember that we had most of our difficulties were with prisoners of war that were prisoners of the Germans, and then now they're free and they want to go and take it out on the Germans. So we had to treat them as prisoners. Try to hold them down, and they were doing a lot of celebrating. Where they got all their liquor from, I don't know, but every night there'd be a big party in this area where all these prisoners were.
And you two guys met in Oklahoma City at one point there, you said.
Yeah. Yes, we did. When I was in cadets in Oklahoma.
Can you talk about what you guys did that night, or?
It wasn't at night. It was
we just met in the daytime.
Oh.
In Oklahoma City.
And we had spent about half an hour together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Huh? Okay. Both. You were on your way somewhere else.
Dad didn't know at that time, but we were on our way to Europe.
Dad, you were there stationed doing glider training, or?
I wasn't flight training at that time. I was taking flying lessons. All my training was in Oklahoma, so Oklahoma City was the first place I went for primary training.
Okay. Okay. And your brothers were older than you, so they were. Well, no, Lyle wasn't, but
Lyle and Ernest were both in the Navy.
They were in before both you guys, though.
Yes.
No, not before me.
Oh, okay.
I was in about 9 months before Lyle and Ernest.
Okay.
In the National Guard.
Yeah.
When you all signed up, it was always with the National Guard?
Yes.
Did you feel like you were going to war?
Oh yeah.
You knew you were going to end up in a war?
We assumed that because it takes a long time to train lots of people, the National Guard, like the field artillery, we needed mathematicians and primarily that's the best qualified artillerymen are the ones that can do all of these mathematical things that tells you what you're destroying. They have slide rules that they sit around a table and with slide rules and telephones, and they direct fire, artillery fire. And of course it takes maybe at the fastest it would take 5 minutes to fire one shell. But the firing batteries, they would have I think it was four howitzers, and their howitzers were about that big around, and they poke the explosive in and put the powder behind it and jam it in, and then fire, and they can control from the control headquarters what they could shoot in a window in a building 8 miles away.
Unreal. That was.
And now they they can do better than that now.
GPS, they can.
Yeah, now they can, the bullet has its own
That's right.
sighter.
So were you able to keep track of each other or your brothers when you were all in the service? Did you know what was going on with
Oh,
Vernon?
no, not at all.
No,
Did you know he was in Europe?
I knew where he was, yes.
Did you go to school together in Grand Forks after that too then, or?
Yes, we did.
You were there at the same time?
For, I went there 2 years, Vernon went there 3 years, I believe,
Okay.
about 4 really.
4.
Because 1 year, my last year in commerce was my first year in law. They allowed me to do double duty for that.
Okay. Where did you stay when you were in Grand Forks? You guys in?
We both belonged to the Teak fraternity, and we stayed in a fraternity house most of the time.
Oh,
The first year we stayed in, I stayed in a
Dormitory.
college dormitory.
Did you go carousing together on the weekends?
No,
Very little. We used to go across the river to East Grand Forks where you could buy a beer.
and then Minot was a couple of 100 miles away, so,
Yes.
okay.
the first year that I was at the university, you could go to Moorhead and play slot machines. Gambling was wide open.
Huh.
By the time you came, there was none of that.
Huh.
It just shut down instantly.
He took a lot of pictures in the war. Did you carry a camera in the? You couldn't have managed it.
I took a few pictures of one of the prison camps that we were at. I think it was, can't remember the name of it now, but where I talked to a guy who had, he was all skin and bones, but he was alive, and he told me a lot of things about how the German prisoners were being groomed for if they have had a tattoo, the prison head his wife wanted the skin.
I'm going to take a break.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.